Hey everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country. My guest tonight, one of my very favorite people to talk to. She's got a great new album out. It is called Saddlin' Up for God, Country and Cowboys. And among many awards, she is the 2018 Academy of Western Artist, Western Female Vocalist of the Year. And it's a pleasure to have her on the show tonight. This is Dawn Anita. Dawn Anita, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great, and I tell you what, I am so glad to get to talk to you, Scott. I love your program. You always have such, and I'm honored to be on it, but you play great artists and great independent artists, and we love the old traditional country music.
Well, I appreciate it, and I know you tune in, and I really do appreciate that as well. And we have a lot of fun, and it's always a good time to talk to you. We always have great conversations together.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you, we've had a lot of great response to Stand Up. I'm talking about Texas, which is your latest single from your new album. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I tell you, I knew when we went into the studio that there was something magic that happened, and that's the reason that I decided to release it prior to releasing the album, because I just couldn't, it was so good, I couldn't wait to get it out there. And a co-writer of mine, Ronnie Bishop, who has co-written with me quite a bit, we talk to each other on the phone and actually do songwriting by the telephone. And so when we got it completed, I told him, I said, there's something special about this song. And everybody that I played it to before I even recorded it said, hey, you've got something there, Dawn Anita. And of course, the musicians, they did a fantastic job. I love Western swing, and they just absolutely nailed this song.
They did a great job on it. We've played it a lot already, and of course, we're going to be playing it tonight after we talk as well, along with some of the other great songs from this new album, and it's called Saddlin' Up for God, Country and Cowboys. Folks, you can go to dawnanita.com and get this album also on CD Baby, and we'll have that information on our Facebook page as well. And you have written 9 of the 11 songs here.
Yes, I tell you, I'm excited about several of these songs, and like I say, I have some good co-writers, and some of them I've written just by myself, but let me tell you a little bit about, and I'm not sure if this is one of the songs you'll play, but I'm really proud of the first song on the album, Pony Express.
Yeah.
It was years ago, my mom, and you know, the whole Diffie family is all music. They're all musical, and they wrote songs and sang and played music and everything, and so I guess that's where I get it from. And she told me, she said, honey, I think you need to write a song about the Pony Express. She said that is such a colorful part of history, so I took that line and finally decided to write it because I thought this was a good opportunity on this album because, as you know, it's Western and Western swing and pure country. And so I really think it turned out good. I like what the musicians did on it also. And even though I lost my mom years ago in a car accident, well, I attribute this to her. She inspired this song.
Well, that's great. Yes, that is one of the songs I was going to ask you about, so I'm glad you brought that up. I don't think there's been a lot of songs where they mention the Pony Express, but if I'm not mistaken, I don't think there's ever been a song written about the Pony Express, so I think you've broken new ground there.
Well, I'm glad to break new ground.
And you mentioned the Diffie family. For my listeners that don't know, you have a pretty famous nephew in your family, right?
Yes, Joe Diffie. He is my brother's boy, and he's done real well in country music. He first started singing when in my band. I had a local band, and he was just a youngster, and I knew he had great talent, and I always told him, you're going to be a star someday, and he proved me right.
That's for sure.
So we're real proud of him.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Well, another song on this album that I know you wrote this about your husband. Tell me a little bit about that. It's One More Last Chance.
Yes, as you know, I don't know if all of your listeners know, I have a book entitled One More Last Chance. And down through the years, I actually really had that book first published in 2010, and I've always thought I need to write a song about that. And this was, I honestly have to say, this was a difficult song to write. I had 3 different versions, and when I came up with this last version, I knew that it was the right one. And honestly, I can say that it is a love story about me and Jerry and our life together, but it also is universal, and the lyrics lends itself to other people who have had long-lasting love. So I think people will really enjoy that song.
Oh, you bet. You bet. Absolutely. And you certainly tipped your hat to 2 of our biggest legends in country music on this album. You did a fabulous version of Cattle Call, which, of course, was made popular from Eddie Arnold, and Oklahoma Hills, Hank Thompson. And I would assume you probably chose that because you're from Oklahoma.
Well, that is one of the reasons, but I did a lot of shows with Hank Thompson back, in the early years. And, in fact, we went on a Caribbean cruise, and I was part of the entertainment, and that's when I first met him. And he has, I don't think anybody can really top his version of Oklahoma Hills, but I think that we did a great job on it, and I thought of it because I'm from Oklahoma, and because I always loved hearing Hank do it.
Absolutely, it's one of his biggest love songs, without a doubt. And,
yeah, it's just one of his signature songs, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. That's great. And you've got a beautiful patriotic song on this album. It's called "Allegiance to the Flag." Tell me a little bit about that one.
Well, I tell you what, I believe this, Scott. I really believe this is a gift from God, because I wasn't trying to write a patriotic song. In fact, I was, thinking about Western songs and Western swing. And one morning about 4 o'clock, I woke up, and these lyrics were in my head, and I reached over and I shook Jerry, and I said, I cannot get these lyrics out of my head. And he said, well, get up and go to the computer. You'll forget it by the time you wake up again. And that is true. That happens. I know well enough to know that when you've got an idea, you better get up and write it down. Well, I went to the computer, and my fingers just kept typing, and I finished that song. And I knew when I had it that I was going to record it. And like I say, I wasn't trying to write a patriotic song, but I believe that God gave me that song because our country is in, we have some turmoil going on, and I hope that this song, when people hear it, that it might help bring our country together in just a small way, whatever way that it can.
Amen to that. Amen to that. No doubt about it. Well, folks, this album is called Saddlin' Up for God, Country and Cowboys. It's available at DawnAnita.com and also on CD Baby. And, of course, you can get Dawn Anita's got so many other great albums. We had you on the show when you put out the Country and Me album, and just great stuff. But you can get all of her music at her website, DawnAnita.com. And Dawn Anita, my kind of go-to song. I always try to listen to albums in their entirety, and give them a few listens, and then there's always a song that I kind of gravitate toward. And the one for me on this album is called "My Oklahoma Cowboy."
Oh, I tell you what, that is about Jerry also, and that may have been the song you were talking about, because there's 2 of them about Jerry. But anyway, I thought, well, I've got a song, Stand Up, I'm talking about Texas. Well, I've got me an Oklahoma cowboy, so I called my friend Bobby Meyer in Nashville, and we have written quite a lot of songs together, and she's had a lot of songs in the past cut by Loretta and Tammy and people, Dottie West, even Dottie, and she was a great writer, and I gave her my idea, and I said, she doesn't write tunes, she just writes lyrics. And I gave her my idea, and I said, I want a song about my Oklahoma cowboy. Of course, she knows Jerry real well. So she sent me some lyrics, And I said, oh, that's perfect, Bobby. And so I changed it a little as far as the lyrics, and then I put a tune to it. And I was so happy with it because it sounds like a song that I would have done when I first started out, traditional country music.
Yeah.
I love the feel of that song. I love singing it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. That's probably why I gravitate toward it, 'cause it's such a nice, solid, good country song, and it's really well done. You did a great job with it.
Well, I appreciate that, Scott. And, I really, again, I wanted to tell you, I always enjoy your interviews and enjoy the people that you play on your station. And it moves along real well, and I'm a fan of yours.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, it makes my job very easy when I have great artists and great music like yours to play, so it makes my job real easy.
And that's what we all hope for, isn't it? Make our job easier.
Absolutely. Well, I have a lot of fun with it, and it's really nice to get this out to listeners and have people all over the world that get a chance to hear this great music.
Right. And, some of the artists like Lefty and David and the ones that you have, I can tell your influence is just like my influence. It's into pure country and Western swing, and I just appreciate it so much.
Well, it is my honor for sure. So you've won some great awards, and you've had so many great singles and albums on the charts doing well for you, and I just want to congratulate you for all those well-deserved recognition that you're getting. And what's on tap for you coming up?
Well, I'm going to the convention of IWMA in Albuquerque, and this Sunday I've got a little Christian TV show that I'm going to do. They love my song Driving His Cattle Home, which has, when I thought about the title, Saddling Up for God, Country, and Cowboys, I thought, that just about covers it, what my album is about. So I've got some good things in the works. I'm going to Elko this year. I've never been there, and so I decided, okay, it's time for me to go. And I've got a lot of cowboy things coming up, but I also have some, country shows that I do. And so I'm excited about this album and believe that this, of course, you always think, well, this is the best one I've ever done. And so far, I think this one is. Something I might tell you about stand-up, I'm talking about Texas, and you probably know this. It was in Western Way, which is the IWMA publication, the number one played Western song in their last edition. So I'm really, it was unbelievable when I read that. You don't know who all and how many times and who all's really playing it. I try to keep track a lot, but I can't, you just can't keep track of everybody and everyone who's playing your music. But that was quite an honor.
That's absolutely fantastic, and I know you're on the Indie Express charts too right now with that song.
Yeah. So it's. I had a friend tell me one time, and it didn't have anything to do with this song because it just came up. Actually, my co-writer we were talking about it, and anyway, the friend told me, he says, if you can get a song going in Texas, then that just about covers everything because there's so many people in Texas.
That's right.
I wasn't trying to do that. I wanted to be playing everywhere. But anyway, it just happened. It's one of those things that just happened.
Well, I think it's well deserved, and I'm so glad to hear that. And we're certainly going to get it out across the world for you. We love it, and we're going to play some of the other great songs from this new album. Folks, again, it's called Saddling Up for God, Country and Cowboys. DawnAnita.com is the website, and you can also get that at CD Baby. We will have all that information on our Facebook page as well. And, of course, we'll always be playing your music on our shows, Dawn Anita. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Okay, Scott Wikle. I really appreciate you.
All right. You take care now. Thanks again.
All right. Bye-bye.
Texas, the greatest state the world has ever known. You can wear your boots and hat no matter where you're at, from Amarillo down to San Antonio. In Fort Worth he met this rodeo queen. Said her daddy was mighty tough and mean, so he bought a horse and saddle. They've been checking on his cattle. Now her daddy thinks they make a pretty good team. Her skin was soft as the petals of a rose. She wore cowboy boots and fancy western clothes. Cowtown is where he landed. Now he's been branded, and this Lone Star State has captured his soul. Stand up, I'm talking about Texas, the greatest state the world has ever known. You can wear your boots and hat no matter where you're at, from Amarillo down to San Antonio. Okay, boys, swing it. They went out where the blue bonnets bloom. They made love beneath that big old harvest moon. Now he's two-stepping through life with his pretty wife as they listen to those good old Bob Wills tunes. Stand up, I'm talking about Texas, the greatest state the world has ever known. You can wear your boots and hat no matter where you're at, from Amarillo down to San Antonio. You can wear your boots and hat no matter where you're at, from Amarillo down to San Antonio. I know you've heard a lot about Texas cowboys. I don't doubt all that bragging's true, but I'll bet you there is one in Oklahoma that can beat 'em all at what they claim to do. He rides tall and handsome in the saddle. He's eye-catching and looking mighty fine. Gals, you can lay your eyes on him, but keep your hands off that Oklahoma cowboy is mine. The first time that I saw him, my heart knew we were a couple that was meant to be. He's everything I ever thought I wanted. My Oklahoma cowboy fulfills my destiny. He rides tall and handsome in the saddle. Always eye-catching and looking mighty fine. Gals, you can lay your eyes on him, but keep your hands off, 'cause that Oklahoma cowboy But the boy can swing in those form-fitting jeans. No dance step that he doesn't know. With long neck and hand, he studies the band, silently soaks in the scene. But he don't sit for long, he owns every song. He's there for his Friday night fling. He's a Friday night cowboy, he can show you how. He's smooth as silk when he steps on that floor. He knows how to win 'em when he starts to spin 'em. He's a country cool, dancing fool, this Friday night cowboy. Oh, come on boys, get it. Downtown in a high-rise surrounded by gray skies, fenced in by cold glass and steel. He's taking the heat 5 long days a week, sweating them big dollar deals. Come Friday night, he's wound up tight, he's raring to get out and swing. Stepping out of that suit into Stetson and boots, he's a Friday night cowgirl's dream. He's a Friday night cowboy, he can show you how. He's smooth as silk when he steps on that floor. He knows how to win 'em when he starts